Alright, so before I begin this review, I just want to state that this is going to be the intro for a series of Scooby-Doo reviews I'm going to do. And if you notice that I do not mention this, and if you're watching this in the playlist and you notice that I do not mention this, or I look a little bit younger, less fat, or have different hairstyle in different locations of filming the reviews and the reviews that follow after this, it's because I'm making the playlist, but this is the intro, and then I'm putting my older reviews afterwards in the playlist, and then my newer stuff after that. I'm gonna organize it after this review is uploaded, so there's that. And this is the official start of a series of Scooby-Doo reviews, and I figured there's nothing better than to take a look back at the old classic Bravo Dooby Doo, which is a cartoon short in a season 1 episode of Johnny Bravo, which was a TV series, one of the first Cartoon Network originals, dubbed Cartoon Cartoons, along with Dexter's Laboratory and Cow and Chicken and the Powerpuff Girls. I think were the 4 that started out. So, yes. A little history with Johnny Bravo. I liked it from the beginning, but my mother, decided no, he was a sexist pig and I should be watching it. My grandmother did not care. My mother always said, you cannot watch this, you cannot watch that. But then I go to my grandma's and watch it anyway. I got told I couldn't watch Adult Swim after a while. Just went to my grandma's and watched it anyway. The only thing that she actually said anything about was when I was watching C-Lab 2021, and in her defense, that show was a little racy. So anyway, the little comment here on the cartoon that precedes this, The Sensitive Male, which is another classic Johnny Bravo cartoon. Johnny Bravo, of course, cannot get a woman because they don't like him. The whole gag, at least in the earlier seasons, is that nobody liked him. Later, he would have, like, little Susie, who was the only one that liked him, besides his mother. And later, there'd be Carl. And then, I can't remember the guy's name, but he owned, like, a shop or something. He had, like, a balding hairdo with a little gray and a bluish-greenish thing and a red bow tie. I don't remember his name. But he was another friend of Johnny's. Later on, they would get more friends. Earlier on in the first season, they started to relied on celebrity cameos, such as Farrah Fawcett and Donny Osmond, for the kids. And so Scooby-Doo was one of those, which actually worked for the kids. But the Sensitive Male cartoon is a bit of a fun one. This guy's teaching him how to be sensitive, and then he fires back at him because he was so nice to these girls, but he asked out multiple girls at the same time. And then Johnny, brings them back and they get revenge or whatever. The best thing of this episode is still the little short cartoon, and it is a callback to Schoolhouse Rock, which I never realized until now. Looking back, the font and just the guy who's singing the song is very much like I'm just a Bill. Yes, I'm only a Bill. The kind of voice. But the standout for me in this sensitive. Different kind of songs. The standout one is the one where he starts singing about everybody's got a name, and then he gets to the part I quoted a lot. I got a pal whose name is Jim. When I talk to him, I say, "Hey Jim," and that's how he knows I'm talking to him. Always makes me laugh every time. I love it. But let's get to the actual reason why we're here to talk about Bravo Dooby Doo, which is a crossover cartoon between Johnny Bravo, Scooby-Doo, and at the end, Speed Buggy. So, yes, Johnny Bravo is on his way to visit his Aunt Jemitissa in her creepy old mansion. His car breaks down, which is like, it's the only time we ever see him with a car. He's in the hood, and he says the phrase, "Oh, this is a fine kettle of fish," and then we see the visual gag where he pulls out an actual kettle of fish and looks at the audience, like, did you get that one? And then the mystery machine, drives up, and I like how he's asking them to get a ride, and they don't say anything. They just stare at him until he mentions that his Aunt Gemidissa lives in a creepy old mansion. They're like, yeah, okay. And so he sits, of course, in between Fred and Daphne, because who wouldn't want to be with Daphne? She's hot. She's a cartoon, but she's hot. Although I, particularly myself, always found myself drawn to Velma myself, but nerdy chicks can be hot sometimes. So they get there and they can't find Aunt Gemidissa. So they start looking around in weird places like under rugs and inside vases. I don't know. And then like Shaggy's like, hey, Scoob, like, it's a broom closet. Maybe there's some food in there. It's a broom closet, Shaggy. There's not gonna open it up. There's a ghostly gardener, as it's called. I do want to point out the voice cast here. Of course, Frank Welker is Freddy. Jeff Bennett, of course, is playing Johnny Bravo. Casey Kasem in his last appearance as Shaggy till 2002, because this was around the time that Burger King was doing ads with Shaggy, and Casey Kasem, being a vegan, said no to doing those ads. I don't know who's doing the voice of Scooby-Doo, but it's not very good. Everyone else seems normal. B.J. Ward is doing the voice of Velma in this, and she will go on to do Velma in Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. And after that a little bit too, I think. So they split off, and we get a gag that suggests that Fred and Daphne are more than friends, where Daphne starts to pair off her and Velma, and Fred goes, Daphne? So, Fred and I will go this way, and then proceeds to split Velma, Scooby, and Shaggy to go off another way. But only Scooby and Velma leave, and that leaves Johnny with Jughead, as he says, which is a nod to Archie, of course. Everything's Archie. And, great. I got stuck with Jughead. Of course, he's hitting on Daphne most of the time anyway. Let's split up. I'll go with you, And so they encounter the ghostly gardener again. They do this little joke. Apple Core, Baltimore. Who's your friend? Me. I never had that reference. Don't know what that means, but like quoting it. It's really weird, but eventually the ghostly gardener is taken care of course, because of an accident. This is a short little cartoon, so there's not all that mystery surrounding a normal half-hour Scooby-Doo episode. There's no, going back and forth, introducing us to different red herrings / suspects. No. There's just, them going in, looking for Aunt Gemidissa, splitting up, song plays, which is the Happy Haunted Sunshine House. We can groove. Oh yeah. I like that song. And it's up there with one of my favorite Scooby-Doo chase songs, along with I Can Make You Happy If You Love Me Too, from the new Scooby-Doo movies. And of course, what else? 7 days a week now. 7 days a week. That's a good one. And there's a couple other ones that I listen to every once in a while that are classic Scooby-Doo songs. There was even an episode where they played a version of that I Can Make You Happy, sung by a different person. It may have been before or after, I'm not sure. But anyway, Happy Haunted Sunshine House is pretty cool. And then Aunt Gemidissa is caught because they're coming down the wheelbarrow. Johnny gets launched into a chandelier. And then Scooby, Shaggy, Velma all land on, as they're crashing down, Daphne jumps into Fred's arms. Fred looks at the camera and goes, wink. And then the other ones all jump into his arms from the thing. Johnny falls on the gardener with the chandelier wrapped around him, And they do gags because it was. Rewatching it again, it's obvious who it is under the mask, so they do some gags. They take off the mask. It's Professor Hyde White, who was the victim of the Black Knight ghost in the very first episode of Scooby-Doo. And then they're like, no, take it off. Harry the Hypnotist, who was the clown ghost in the Big Top Scooby-Doo episode. That makes no sense. Up as the ghost of Bigfoot, which was white in the original episode, and now he's brown because it's Bigfoot. Nope, take it off. Don Knotts. No, take it off. Joe Barbera. And then Johnny looks at the camera and goes, who's that? Like, he's one of the co-creators of Hanna-Barbera, Joe Barbera. And it's revealed to be Aunt Gemma, which makes sense. And she did it because she doesn't like Johnny, like most of the characters in the show, and she wanted to get rid of him. Mystery Inc. apologizes and asks if there's anything they could do, and it cuts. A hard cut to Johnny tied around a tree. Aunt Jim Medusa hitting on Fred as they drive off. Speed Buggy jumps in and he goes, okay, get it. Voiced by Frank Welker, of course. And then it ends. It's a classic cartoon. What can I say? I love this cartoon. From the song that plays to the... Oh, by the way, Jinkies. I should mention that. Velma goes, Jinkies. And then, like, he does it. He's like, when they're in the chase, he's like, Jinkies. Isn't that a breakfast cereal or something? And then they do the playoff where Velma's glasses fall off. My glasses. I can't see without my glasses. But Johnny's sunglasses also fall off. And he goes, glasses. I can't see without my glasses. My glasses. I can't be seen without my glasses. That sort of thing, and they put on each other's glasses. Donnie's got big eyes, as my sister used to say. And yeah, there's some fun gags. What can I say? Scooby-Doo and Johnny Bravo, two of my favorite things growing up. Although this was early in the run, but I think this cemented my love for the show, even though my mom told me I couldn't watch it. But it's a fun little cartoon that shows that, you know, they were still putting care into their cartoons, unlike now, where the Thundercats looked horrible, that they decided to reboot Thundercats Roar and do it with their current animation, which, not to knock Cartoon Network's current animation, but no. And I keep hearing talks of rebooting, like, Dexter's Laboratory and stuff. I'm like, if you're going to do that, you have to use the same animation. Don't try to do a new animation. Like, what Nickelodeon's doing with the Rugrats. Because everything has to be CGI now with animation. Can't do any hand-drawn stuff. Nope. Gotta be total CGI. And not only that, they kind of erased Dill from existence. What? And they added Susie to the opening credits because apparently it's racist to not include her to begin with, even though she wasn't actually a regular member of the Rugrats in the original series. She showed up halfway through season 1, I think. Maybe even later. She wasn't, I don't know, I don't think she was part of season 1. I think it was in a later season, like season 3. She's on the cover of season 4, so maybe even season 4 she shows up. So, she was never really a regular member. She'd pop up from time to time. Here I'm talking about Rugrats, and this is Scooby-Doo. As the cartoon Scooby-Doo short pertains, it's a decent little short. It brings you back to the Scooby-Doo of old. Yes, there are some complaints to be made, like, oh, Fred and Daphne never showed any kind of acknowledgement that they were, romantic with each other. But think about this. If it was a more adult themed, Fred and Daphne would be making out while Scooby and Shaggy get high and eat all the food. Velma's the only one actually looking for clues. You know? If they were to do that. And it would make sense. You know? But how would it make sense? Well, creepy house. Creepy equals wet panties. Sometimes. So it works. Plus, Scooby and Shaggy smoke weed to take the edge off so they're not scared all the time. But it does make them paranoid, which is why they're freaked out all the time. It makes sense, yet people will wag their finger. Oh, Shaggy and Scooby aren't buttheads. And they make the joke in the first Scooby-Doo movie about the stuff coming up and it's just the eggplant, the big ass. It's a joke. As a standalone cartoon crossover with Johnny Bravo, it does well. I think it works, and it's a memorable part of my childhood. I always loved watching this. I still do. Got the Hall of Fame collection, kid favorites, 4 kid favorites. It has a season 1, part 1 of Johnny Bravo, season 1, part 1 of Dexter's Laboratory, season 1, part 1 of Courage the Cowardly Dog, and then volume 1 or 2 of Ed, Edd n Eddy. I don't know, but it's a fun watch. I recommend this cartoon. So what are your thoughts on Bravo Dooby Doo? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Try to show my shirt. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.